Once upon a time there were 3 little pigs. Let's call them Kevin Bacon, Rodney Trotter and Roly Porkinson. These 3 little pigs were happy little fellows, but they spent too much time playing on their games consoles, doing TikToks and arguing with celebrities on Twitter. Their mother, Mrs. Piggins, said,
"Kids, you're doing my head in. You're all at least 36, you need to move out."
So the 3 pigs set off on their adventure and were on the hunt for a quality shelter. "We need a gazebo or a marquee that can do the job no matter what the weather," said Roly Porkinson. "None of that cheap tat." The first pig, Kevin Bacon, saw a sign in the local supermarket for a £45 gazebo. He couldn't believe his luck. He headed straight for the middle aisle and then he went to find a good place to set up his cheap gazebo. The other little pigs set off, and soon Rodney Trotter was online on his phone, buying a cheap marquee from a German company that had apparently had a UK-based warehouse. What luck! He placed his order for a cheap marquee, and it arrived within about 6 days. It was a lot flimsier than it looked online, but he was sure it would be fine, and he went to find a good place to set up his cheap marquee. The third little pig, Roly Porkinson, wasn't too impressed with his brother's ideas. "Your cheap tents aren't going to last at all," he said. "You need commercial quality and a marquee leading warranty, you fools." Roly Porkinson called 01709 242454, spoke to Darren, who offered tremendous advice, and he placed an order for an elite PVC marquee with storm straps and concrete weights to anchor it in the event of adverse weather conditions. It arrived the next day because he placed the order before 4 p.m. and it was dispatched the same day. By night time, all of the little pigs were set up in their new temporary outdoor structures, enjoying their newfound freedom. One starlit night, soon after they had settled in, a wolf came out looking for food. By the light of the moon, she spied the cheap gazebo picked up from the middle aisle at the Aldi, and her nostrils filled with the sweet smell of spam.
Little pig, let me come in,"
she called.
No, you can't come in. Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin,"
said Kevin Bacon.
"Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in."
And she huffed and she puffed, and the cheap gazebo was in pieces before you could say Cuthbert the Caterpillar. Kevin Bacon ran off as fast as his little legs could carry him, all the way to Rodney Trotter's cheap marquee. The next night the wolf was even hungrier, and she followed the stink of bacon frazzles to the cheap marquee he bought from the bungalow of tentage. She crept to the door and said,
Little pig, let me come in."
No, you can't come in. Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin,"
said Rodney Trotter defiantly.
"Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in."
And she huffed and she puffed, and the cheap marquee was in pieces before you could say cost of poor quality. But the little pigs ran away as fast as their little legs could carry them, all the way to Roly Porkinson's commercial quality PVC marquee. "What did I say?" ranted Roly Porkinson. "You need to buy actual quality. Just because a marquee looks the same on the internet or is a fraction of the price, it doesn't make it a sensible purchase." He let his brothers in because there was acres of space in the marquee, and they all settled down for a game of cards. The next night the wolf was even hungrier, and she followed the delicious aroma of pork scratchings and crept to the door.
Little pig, let me come in."
No, you can't come in. Not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin," said Roly Porkinson, whilst his brothers hid beneath a superior quality trade table that he'd also picked up when buying his marquee.
"Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in."
And she huffed and she puffed and she huffed and she puffed, but the marquee stood firm. It had at least 50 kilograms of weight on each leg, because there is no such thing as too well anchored. The wolf grew bigger and badder by the minute, and she huffed and puffed some more until her breath was similar to a 33-mile-an-hour wind. But it was no use. she could not blow the Gala Tent Elite PVC marquee down. The wolf was about to give up when she smelled the most delicious smell. Why, it was Piggy Smalls, the hog roast man, beneath a commercial quality Gala Shade Pro 50 with dye sublimation printed covers. What tremendous luck! The wolf paid £3.50 for a pork and stuffing sandwich and headed home, leaving the three little pigs to live happily ever after in their house of 650 GSM, wipe clean PVC and powder coated steel framework. The end.